okayfm 101.7.
Honorable Alhaji Inusah Fuseini. Yene what Tamale in Potamu, your friend teacher Inusah. Where Mrenim Kese, former MP for Tamale Central. Alhaji Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Okay, halukum.
Oh,
Okay.
Vetting of the nominee for Chief Justice, Urabafo Boni. Any and some appear free war a drew baby crown. There was a walkout by the minority. Woman representing a year committee in the show. Now we are near my queen and we'll see as a parliament lacks discipline. Me patro which they must say.
Oh, generally as regards the vetting of or non-vetting or non-participation in the vetting of Justice Bafubone. It was a statement of an appraiser of Parliament in recent times. And like the 8th Parliament and the 9th Parliament. For instance, the first major shock, the Ghanaians, they say Parliament is a creature of our democracy. In fact, Parliament is a symbol of the power of the people. And they say Parliament for voting to take select a speaker, then that whole process is bastardized. Goes to talk about discipline in Parliament. So even though you don't agree with the outcome of the process, but that is the same process that has brought you to the House. And that is a citadel of democracy. You can have a government without a democracy, but you can't have a parliament without a democracy. And so that's the first thing. Banter forward here and there, holding of people, accosting each other. It's symptomatic of a breakdown in law and order in Parliament. Breaking of tables and chairs and hitting each other and squeezing the balls of some people. How can you describe it apart from saying that there is a lack of discipline and restraint in Parliament in recent times? And the vetting or non-participating in the participation in the vetting of Justice Bafubone and Amami Kasa, but it's my general outlook and view of what is happening, an opinion of what is happening in Parliament these days.
Sir, in parliamentary practice, said you're walking, Sir Bibisa Esia, who is clothed with that powers to crack the whip? Nipa or Muyasadian.
Yes, so Parliament itself, being an institution of state, a very important institution of state, has developed rules and regulations to regulate the conduct of members of Parliament. So members of Parliament enforce their rules. But while the Speaker is in session, while the Speaker is on the chair, he regulates the conduct of members on the floor of the House. And he does that in conjunction with the leadership of the House, particularly the majority leader and the minority leader. They help the Speaker to enforce discipline in the House while the House is in session. Now, say obi ye adie the emphata the extra or breach the rules of engagement and as encapsulated in the standing orders of Parliament. Any member of Parliament can raise a matter of breach of privilege of a member of Parliament, and then that the Committee on Privileges, which has a constitutional mention, is responsible for dealing with such matters.
I see. Sir, would you what's not Parliament? Now, unim, a dear Bena, one by to prevent a recurrence of such a Nehemiah SCC.
Like what is happening in the United States of America, the excessive partisanship in the politics of a country deteriorates the institutions of state. There will be for instance, Parliament is an institution of state. It's created by the state, captured in the Constitution. So when you are in it, you must put the interest of the state above your personal parochial interest or the interest of the party. And so where that doesn't happen, you will see a deterioration in the activities of that institution of state. And I make no exception to any institution of state which has been bastardized. And the enforcement, rigorous enforcement of the rules of Parliament will somehow work to bring discipline. Rigorous enforcement, non-biased, impartial enforcement of the rules. For instance, the famous case of Judicial was a glaring opportunity for Parliament to exert their power, to show that Parliament can rise up to the occasion. What did we see?
BBNC.
And when the Constitution itself frowns upon the absence of a member of Parliament from a number of days without just cause, which just cause must be assessed by the Privileges Committee.
Parliament, the 8th Parliament, cries about yet is will be can say shut up, daughter of a murderer, and once a
on the floor of the House.
On the floor of the House.
And after now, nobody. And in fact, that Parliament has ended. So
is it a case of say
that person responsible for any tragedy?
Is it a case of say Parliament do maybe almost shielded members be from being punished or what?
Yeah, I can say that. I can say that. If not, how do you explain the non-sanction, or if you want, the lack of resolve to deal with the Judicial case? How do you explain that? And this, and there is, but now he's campaigning to be a flag bearer of a party, so I won't mention him. He says the Parliament is useless. Useless.
Maybe that was then.
How do you say that? How do you say that? Are you going to disagree with Parliament?
But
and so when you say that and nobody does anything to you, and then you go away free, and then there's indiscipline in Parliament, who do you blame?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you blame?
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. So we have done little things that have chipped away the sanctity, oral, and discipline of Parliament. And that is what has brought us to the where we are.
I see. Parliamentary rules, near Mawoodwa, a board parliament, no buying, Emma, retaining the sanctity, no. So, who offer any advice? Then, Abeka.
Oh, enforcement, rigorous enforcement of the rules, rigorous enforcement of the rules, rigorous enforcement of the rules. I mean, everywhere there is a parliament, there's a parliamentary committee that enforces the rules. And in this our parliament, there's a parliamentary committee that enforces the rules. So, I mean, and the whole architecture of parliament, is designed to enforce. It's a rules-based institution. It's a rules-based. What do you mean? Honorable Muhammad Ayerga, Mama Ayerga, officer, Honorable show me the rule that gives you the authority or the right to make a preliminary statement in a committee meeting. I'm just saying that to demonstrate that it's a rules-based. If you want to control a rule, no, want to exercise that power.
I ask in law, no, so you can't put something on nothing.
On nothing. Hey, an empty bag cannot stand straight.
Yes. Because anywhere, how do you put something on it?
On it. So it's a rules-based institution, and until the rules are enforced and enforced regularly without regard to who is involved, you will still find this deterioration and decay.
Wow. Another issue. So, minim say helicopter crash. And one some will be a dimu yaubi. Wa wafa Murtala Muhammad. Wonu so kra nyam wa hwere ne nko Allah. Ene emfa ne kra nsie emaye. Na report no eba ye no and the narratives na around no. What do you make of it?
First of all, when you listen to the report is quite clear and emphatic. This is not an error, the manufacturer's error. This is a human error. In insurance and aviation and claims, the manufacturers have been absolved of any responsibility for the crash. So that should be clear to you now. So, a manufacturer's error, we could put a claim in for our deceased compatriots. But investigation is a manufacturer's error, a human error. So what did it come about? After reading aspects of the report that has been made public now, I asked myself many questions. In fact, almost see now the flight was scheduled to depart around 8 o'clock or so in the morning. It was delayed until 9 something. And the reason for delay is that the weather was not clear. So it was cloudy. It was visibility was poor. And so they were waiting for the clouds to clear and the visibility to improve. So someone would have said that it is now okay to fly. Yes, sir. Hello? Someone would have said that it is not okay to fly. And
yes. Because
so who is that person who gives the all clear? Who is that person?
So certain heads must rule.
Somebody must be held responsible for giving the all clear.
Wow.
Because there was information already available to the army that the weather conditions in that area, the flight route or route, was not conducive to flying. They took precaution to ensure that they didn't throw themselves into such a precarious weather. Into almost delay here for close to 1 hour, 30 minutes or so, and still flew. And then they went into that order, in that weather. So who was the person who said, okay, it's now okay to fly? And the error cannot be that of the pilot. No, it cannot. So he was thrust into a mission that had a 50% chance of success and exposed our compatriots to great hazards and tragedy. And in flying, the first consideration you have to give is the safety of the people you are going to fly. Is it safe to fly them? That's the first major consideration you must give to any attempt to fly. So I was not very happy. I said, why would anybody do that? Or is it that the mission was so important that they could not delay any further? And then to risk it.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't they take steps to reduce the level of risk? That's the questions I've asked myself. I don't have no answers to those questions. But after reading aspects of the report, that's the questions I've been asking myself. Was it necessary? Was it necessary at all to go there? When some other ministers were there? Couldn't the flight be aborted? So that is the questions I've asked myself. It's unfortunate, but
report and say, and you maybe remains unanswered. Nanka, wo hwe nim se bianka report no ebetimi provide questions I will be say answers our report in and that report document.
Oh man, I'm just commenting on the report based on the aspects of the small portions that have been made public. Man, the complete report.
Oh, okay.
Maybe in the complete report they have mentioned things. Maybe they
because
are
say a buy in comfort you come say the president was supposed to be on board. Na bibi na sanka na went me anko. Ebi no say oh bibi obi kwa national security for friend no say ma won call because they are not okay with the year sanction and said the flight was okay for him to board. And that ho and na ebi no say okay bra won call no say he was supposed to be present at Assemblies of God, not sorry, and also one call.
These were all speculations.
Sure.
The president doesn't travel like that.
Mm-hmm.
The president doesn't travel on the basis of the fact that he has no activity. The president is always on schedule. Somebody is responsible for planning the movement of the president. So the president, as I speak to you, the president has a schedule, even up to next week. Okay? So the president is always on schedule. Doesn't move like that. He's not a private person. He's a public person. So I did the by another person were aircraft they were all speculations.
Right.
Okay. Now the second thing is that report will say there was no technical error. Even though it recognizes there could have been an improvement in the technical capabilities of the aircraft, the helicopter. So it's recommended that the military must take steps to infuse in this aircraft or to build in this aircraft some level of technical competence and capabilities to deal with that situation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it is not the case, sir, not present, it was so and substituted. It's not the case. I don't believe that that's the case.
Wow. Now 11 months into government. Now President Mahama Ebai, me kwade say my name is Sofo, my friend Reverend His Excellency Reverend John Dramani Mahama.
Oh, what do you know Sofo?
Madam no Sofo straight away.
Okay, Sofo Mahama.
Performance of government. It's saying, Ofem.
Oh, the performance of government has been great. Albeit there are some challenges. But the performance of government has been great. And many we can say, why? Because even as I speak this today, tomorrow, the Minister of Finance will be reading the budget. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Are you hearing discussions about the budget? People expect that what we experienced last year will continue and probably improve. So you don't hear that people are not apprehensive. They are not overly concerned. I think that we have retreated to our comfort zone. That at least we can trust that things will be better. So that is the first indication of things moving well. The inflation, which rose up to 54%, first time in the history of the country, is now hovering around 10%. And we have been told that by the end of this, 8% actually, and by the end of this month, it will be around 6.something%. The lowest ever recorded in so many years. Now our city has, miraculously recovered from the laughing stock being the butt of all currencies. And then, if you have your 11 cities, you are going to get $1. And so, yes, that's a far improvement from those days when you needed 15, 16 cities to get $1. It's the same city. We have not redenominated our city. It's the same. So our purchasing power has has increased thereby. We have been told that the Standard & Poor's and all the international rating agencies have upgraded young currency to B-B, stable outlook. If we continue on that trajectory, we can always improve. And then there's a restoration of confidence in the investor community that we are doing things right. There is a conscious, deliberate attempt to deal with recklessness and wastage.
Me pacho, sa recklessness and then wastage no. What in the SC or national service? What in your SC ever buffer stock? What in your SC ever me was former government why na check why?
That is the problem. That's a very good question. My this is our question. No. So who was responsible? My this is our question. No. In your view, who was responsible? So you have the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Addison, print a lot of money over and above the legally allowed limits. So who was calling him to order? Or who was telling him to do what he was doing?
To the extent to say, members of parliament are no more that time. It's me call president no President Akufo Addo say, "Sir, minister for finance, omo number changing was there be."
Omo say na the can wo fi so in that time. Say hadn't been a Westminster type of government, that would have been a vote of no confidence. In the government never collapse. I said it on your network. Because one Kasa will MPs, 90 or over of them, voting to express their lack of confidence in your minister. And your minister was implementing your policies. The Chancellor of Britain, the members of the House of Commons, voting to say that we don't have confidence in the government will collapse. But again, what had happened, the president refused, failed, or neglected to act, or foresee the minister on us for 1 year.
Abba,
why? I don't know. So who was in charge? Go for oil. You can't. You can deal with corruption.
Sir, they na ye juma. Go for oil no.
I don't know. One who aka dey buy. One thing.
There be o.
60.8 billion.
Hey, I think no makwa province as one.
One thing. And the whole thing was not even gold for oil. It was the same arrangement. You buy the gold, sell the gold, use the currency to buy oil. So why did you constitute people to do that?
Mami Musadi. Obi a ton oil no gold o de bra na ye. Ene ko ton gold never ton oil ne.
No, nka obi ever say, oh, okay, what they say, 1% won ton gold no say ah. Now 1% won ye butter. Gold for oil simply means butter. You exchange your gold for oil, but you agree on the price per ounce of gold with you. And to say, supply you with this number of barrels of crude oil now, you will give us this amount of tons of refined gold. That's butter. But that was not what was happening. Obimu better gold, you know. Bank of Ghana, after buying the gold through agents, you know, will ship the gold outside and sell, and take the dollars and go and buy oil. So what was the policy about? You can't say, shine light on the policy so that we can all see it. After they've left office, this was what was happening.
Okayfm 101.7.
Bank of Ghana, Minerals Income and Investment Fund were involved in this activity.
Mami Musa question you. Meaning that there are checks and balances. It is a Minister of Finance and a Governor Bank of Ghana. Mudi sikabi ba baby to sebia mudi ba baby to sebia go a boss to phone ho. Mudi ba baby to say e be a national service ho. Mudi ba baby to say buffer stock ho. Eti mu ni achire enkohwe say actually this is what should happen.
Oh, say buffer stock, national service, and the Kakahunina. Medical country of Ghana is a rules-based society. It's a lack of enforcement that is creating all this. Buffer stock. In your Minister of Agric in the budget.
I quarter the first see my keke enuni.
And so the Minister of Agriculture budget already called finance for capture in the national budget by Parliament. Now Parliament approve it. Now they can omodi more. Why then do we have internal auditors?
As I know, one governor no say Minister of Finance no say controller no. What terms the can manwa and one we. So what is that?
It will be maybe I remember former President Kupa was seated in the meeting. Mr. Young corruption and the failure to deliver on the promise of the Constitution, no, because we have weak institutions and corrupt institutions.
Because as some way, main first the cabinet say 1,000 cities. And to me, see what other countries, you know, over them, you go to jail.
Hello?
Me say, dear, as you see, hey, we are this car, we are you say. And to me, see what other countries, you go to jail.
No. In some places, even they will behead you.
They will behead you, yeah. China, Korea.
Oh my God, you.
Me call Thailand. And unse flights in ya omo de form biblia na wa fail. Na omo ye please turn over. Omo tro niema e wo ho se. Saa niema no ti se bia wo de drugs e be wura oman mu. Wo mo se wo mo hu a wo mo ha wo mo hu se ye ko to ni e ba ne ba de will behead you.
Will behead you.
You try to so.
The way like now government was then they will intervene and use diplomatic distance to remove you. But and yes, almost three.
Alaji, mayena was a pa ni senya mpamfa ma na na ba ko ami bisa de ekofa vetting of Justice Boni e ba ye womo revisit maame tokonu issue no ese aye protracted some enema bia minority ntiase majority ntiase MPP for ntiase NDC for NC dey be say neda sasam pa no to you as a lawyer no fair complete anade ben there are other avenues maame no fees obetimi
me knew why you so word no and with that say why you so word no my reading of article 146 of the Constitution leaves me in no doubt sir any process initiated under article 146 of the Constitution its conclusion is fait accompli.
Its conclusion
in conclusion, it's fair complete. That is why Article 146(9) says that the President is bound by the recommendations of the committee. Committee set under Article 146(3) or committee set under Article 146. So if the committee has said that, we have gone into the matter, we've come to the conclusion that the Chief Justice or any Justice of the Supreme Court of Justice has not committed any offense which borders of Article 146(1) of the Constitution, stated misbehavior, incompetence, or infirmity of mind and body, the President will have been bound by it. And so, if the committee had recommended that the suspicion be lifted and the person be allowed to go back to her work, there was no appeal. The President or the petitioners cannot appeal against that decision. That's my understanding of that provision.
So it's fair accompli, as we say.
Fair accompli. It doesn't admit of appeals.
Okay.
And I want someone to come and tell me that upon reach. And the Constitution is very clear. You know, the people who were drafting the Constitution were very clear in their mind. Wherever they thought that there must be an appeal, they provided for it.
Now, nipa be argument in say petitions in there 3. And then even the president, and trained for the other 2 to be administered. And I would gina ba so de ebi my argument is so esa any say a son say article 146 bibia quasi judicial exercise na president so one year legal person no as a senka yenya mrabi LIB to regulate the action president in be taking meaning what is this argument we are.
Oh, my argument on that, but not in the way that you are explaining it. I mean, in the decisions of the court touching and concerning Article 146, the courts have also recommended that there be regulations to regulate the procedure to be adopted by the committee, except under Article 146 or 143, 1466 or 1463. So that you know that when you are going to appear for a committee, you are going to subject it to this procedure, Marty, and I think that is fair. And that decision, even that recommendation, is not only in that case. It's also even the Attendance Committee, the OCT, Constitution Review Committee, almost has to recommend it. Yes, there must be regulations. Okay, not to regulate the exercise of power of the, because that is clear. The power of the president to refer a petition to the Chief Justice is regulated by the Constitution. A petition for a removal of a justice of the Superior Court of Judicial is regulated by the Constitution. He must receive a petition. He must receive a petition. Not that he must write a petition. He must receive a petition. And the power of the president to deal with a petition to remove a Superior Court judge, must be upon the receipt of a petition, single, even though singular includes a plural, of a petition, and must determine whether or not the petition raises prima facie case in consultation with the Council of State. I mean, it's always good to go back to history. The Council of State came into being under the 1969 Constitution. There was no Council of State in this country.
Yeah, Buzia time.
Buzia time. Why was it created? It was thought that it was important to create a state institution that would put national interest above partisan political interest. So they advised the president. It's a state institution. So that's why the petition, the draft of the Constitution 1979, 1992, never said that the president upon receipt of a petition to remove the Chief Justice or Justice of the Superior Court of Judicial must refer the petition to the judiciary or judicial committee to determine whether there is a prima facie case. No.
I see. Honorable. Nipa before Kochi, chapter 7 of the 1902 Constitution, all 125, Article 125, said justice and
the judicial power.
The judicial power. Now, over 3 no, clause 3 no, or say, the judicial power of Ghana shall be vested in the judiciary. Accordingly, neither the president nor any organ or agency of the president or parliament shall have or be given final judicial power. It will almost say in exercising the 146, as the president, per the 125, is interfering with the work of the judiciary. It will say, it will almost say, SSSA, per the Article 1253, president, interfere with the works of the judiciary because they are independent and subject to only the Constitution. It will say,
the president has no constitution sent to a court. What is the judicial power? Or now you would think that what is judicial power? The power to mediate between disputants, the power to settle disputes, the power to apply the laws, the power to interpret the Constitution. There are powers that have been granted in the Constitution. The judicial powers of state are not at large. That's why we have constitutionalism. So the judiciary cannot do what they have not been given power to do by the Constitution. Clear example. The judiciary have no speculative jurisdiction. But it's of course in the Indian court, High Supreme Court, they have speculative jurisdiction that's been given to them.
Wow.
That if a policy of government, in their view, that policy of government will work towards some groups of people in the state, the judiciary can take the case themselves, determine the case, and advise the government, recommend the government to change its policy. But in our case, we don't have speculative jurisdiction. So you see, even the power of the judiciary is circumscribed by the Constitution. So, Mr. Mete, people talking about the power of the judiciary, they should come clean and let's talk what the Constitution says. Let's talk about the structure and architecture, the design of our Constitution.
Alaji, Mamenda was here no pay.
And that's it.
Mr. Medasipa, Honorable Alhaji Inusah Fuseini, former MP for Tamale Central. Wayam Renimni Kese, Yeni, what Tamale in Potamudi, Kania no che, Adiano, dear friend, teacher Inusah. Yeni no actually come okay 101.7 so any na
watching Nabakuya Jo man, a inti kwame, Kasa, and Kuruma Kasa.